Scientific names are given by the given by the biologist, and they are based on some agreed principles and criteria, and they are accepted all over the world. And to accomplish this, certain international codes have been established. I have read in the last class from NCERT. I use the ICZN, ICBN. Now remember that there are many of these codes. For example, we even have ICNCP also, which stands for the International Code for Nomenclature of Cultivated Plants. Then we have ICTV, which is the International Committee on Taxonomy of the Viruses. So there are various types of such committees or codes which give us the rules and regulations regarding nomenclature. Now, the binomial nomenclature is the main which we study in this chapter. There are certain international rules which are now followed for binomial nomenclature. The first rule is that all names are supposed to be taken from the Greek language or from the Latin language, and if in case any name is taken from another language, they have to be modified to sound like Latin or otherwise Greek word. For example, we all know that Azadi Rachta Indica is the scientific name of Margosa or neem tree. So Azadi Rachta is taken from Hindi. In the same manner, there are certain plants which have been called as, like for example, Ficus religiosa. So there are many names which have been picked up from non-Latin or non-Greek languages, and they have been modified to sound like Greek or Latin language. Now why exactly Greek and Latin language? Because these languages are called as dead languages, and dead language means a language in which no change will come in the dictionary, no new word will be added, no word will be taken away, no change in the meaning will take place. That means whatever the scientific name today we give, after thousands of years also these names will remain with the same meaning, because there is no change brought in the dictionary of a dead language. I hope this point is clear to you. So another thing to understand is that the name will have two words. First is the genus, second is the species, and then this species name and the genus name are supposed to be underlined separately, and then the genus name always starts with a capital alphabet, and all other alphabets in genus name will be small, and the species name is written with a gap, and that gap, after that gap, the first letter including the all other letters are going to be in smalls in the case of the species. Name of the author is sometimes also is written along with the species in the abbreviated form. So these are the main rules which are used while naming a nomenclature, binomial system of nomenclature. Now today what we are following is called as the trinomial nomenclature. This is something like an extension of what binomial nomenclature is called, because today we know that scientists have created, plant breeders, animal breeders have created so many races, so many subspecies, so many varieties of the same species of organism. So what should be the scientific name of them? So that's why a new concept has come, which has third word also added after the binomial name, and the third word basically represents the subspecies, mostly in the case of animals, variety mostly in the case of plants. For example, the complete scientific name according to the trinomial nomenclature rules of human being is Homo sapiens sapiens. Remember, the previous name is in the biological system or binomial nomenclature is Homo sapiens. So Homo stands for man and sapiens stands for wise. So we are wise men. So this is how today binomial nomenclature has been extended into what we today call as the trinomial nomenclature. Now the next concept to understand are the taxonomic categories. The term taxon was introduced for the first time in 1956, and taxa is a group of any rank that is sufficiently distinct to be called as a different category. So what are categories now? The categories introduced are basically 7. So the system of arranging the organism in a definite sequence of various taxonomic categories arranged in a proper descending or ascending order is called as the taxonomic hierarchy, and it was introduced by Carolus Linnaeus, and he introduced seven obligatory categories. So this is the third contribution of Carolus Linnaeus. First contribution, two kingdom system of classification. Second contribution, binomial nomenclature. Third contribution, he introduced the concept of taxonomical hierarchy, and he introduced the concept of seven obligate categories, which are namely kingdom, division in the case of plants, phylum in the case of animals, and then we have classes. Classes will have orders, orders will have families, families will have species, families will have genus or genera, and genuses will carry the species. So this is the hierarchy. The bottom of this whole system is species, and top of this is the kingdom. So then now we all have gone through these topics even in the junior classes. We know what exactly species are, and lots of species may exist in a genus, and number of genuses, when they are considered together, they form one family. Many families join to form order, orders join to form classes, and finally classes join to form phyla in the case of animals, and divisions in the case of plants, and finally they go either into plant kingdom or otherwise the animal kingdom. So then there are certain aids which are required. That means there are some techniques, there are some procedures, there are some stored informations which are useful in identification and classification of organisms, and these are called as taxonomic aids. Example, herbarium, museums, botanical gardens, zoological parks. We have flora, monographs, manuals and keys. The detail of this has been removed this year by the order of CBSE.